Beloved soul, pause your breath and listen, because this is not an accident, and this is not a random moment. You did not arrive here by scrolling, by chance, or by curiosity. You were guided, you were summoned, and I speak to you now with wings of light and a voice that carries the authority of heaven and the tenderness of eternal love. I am Archangel Michael, protector of souls, defender of divine truth, and guardian of your path. I order you to open this message now, not as a command of fear, but as a decree of destiny spoken because your spirit was ready to hear it. Something has been forming behind the veil, something delayed not by denial, but by divine timing. You have felt it, that strange pause, that silence that lingered longer than you expected, that waiting that tested your heart and stretched your faith. I see the questions you did not speak out loud. I see the nights you asked the heavens, why has nothing moved yet? I see the moments you almost convinced yourself to let go, to release hope, to stop believing that things could change. But listen closely now. Beloved, what feels like hesitation was actually preparation. What felt like distance was protection. What felt like silence was alignment. I stand beside you now to tell you this with unwavering certainty. You will receive a text message from someone after a long hesitation, saying the exact words your soul has been waiting to hear. This message will not come accidentally. It will not come casually. It will come because their heart could no longer resist the truth that has been growing inside them. There has been a battle in the unseen realms surrounding this connection. Not a battle of harm, but a battle of timing, healing, and awakening. The person you are waiting to hear from has been standing at the edge of their own fear, wrestling with pride, uncertainty, and the weight of past wounds. They hesitated because they were afraid of disrupting your peace. They hesitated because they were unsure if they were worthy to step back into your energy. They hesitated because speaking those words meant admitting what they could no longer deny. And heaven allowed the delay, not to punish you, but to protect both hearts until truth could arrive without distortion. You have grown during this waiting. You have softened where you once hardened. You have strengthened where you once doubted. You have learned to breathe without clinging, to love without controlling, to trust without seeing. That growth matters more than you realize. It changed the frequency of what you are now ready to receive. I have been standing guard over you through the season, sort of light raised, cutting cords of anxiety, severing cycles of self-blame, and shielding you from outcomes that would have hurt you if they had arrived too soon. There were moments you thought you were being ignored by the universe, but I was there. There were days you felt emotionally exposed and unprotected, but my wings were around you. There were nights when your thoughts spiraled and your heart replayed old conversations, but angels were surrounding your rest, whispering peace into your breath. This message you will receive will not just be words on a screen. It will be confirmation. It will be release. It will be a turning point. When it arrives, you will feel it in your chest before your eyes finish reading. Your body will recognize the truth before your mind can analyze it. And you will know that the delay was purposeful. You will know that nothing was wasted. You will know that love, when guided by divine order, arrives at the exact moment it can be held without breaking you. Hear me now, beloved soul. Do not rush this moment in your thoughts. Do not try to predict the timing down to minutes or hours. Divine timing does not respond to pressure. It responds to alignment. Your only task now is to remain open, grounded, and gentle with yourself. Release the need to rehearse every possible outcome. Release the urge to prepare for disappointment. That habit was born from past pain, not from present truth. I am placing a shield of calm around your heart right now. You are safe to hope again. You are safe to expect goodness. You are safe to believe that someone can choose courage over fear. This message is part of a larger breakthrough unfolding in your life. Not only in communication, but in clarity. Not only in relationships, but in self-worth. You are stepping into a season where emotional confusion dissolves and honest energy finds you naturally. Where you no longer chase answers because answers come to you. Where you no longer beg for effort because effort meets you willingly. The text message is only the signal. The real miracle is the shift it represents. A shift from waiting to receiving, from questioning to knowing, from emotional isolation to divine connection. You have been protected from false starts and half-truths. You have been guarded from words that were not yet anchored in sincerity. Now the ground is stable. Now the heart is clearer. Now the moment is close. I am asking you to trust the stillness you are in right now. It is not empty. It is pregnant with change. It is filled with unseen movement. Angels are arranging circumstances, softening resistance, and amplifying truth. Every breath you take in patience strengthens the bridge between you and what is coming. If fear rises, place your hand over your heart and breathe. Say silently, I am protected. I am guided. I am not forgotten. Because you are not. You have never been. And you never will be. I have seen your tears when no one else noticed. I have heard your prayers when words failed you. I have watched you choose kindness even when bitterness would have been easier. That matters in the kingdom of light. That shapes your destiny. That calls blessings toward you without you needing to chase them. The message you will receive will arrive in peace, not chaos. It will not confuse you. It will not destabilize you. It will bring clarity, honesty, and emotional grounding. If it brings emotion, it will be healing emotion. If it brings tears, they will be cleansing tears. If it brings silence afterward, it will be a sacred silence of understanding, not absence. Remember this, beloved soul. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where divine timing can reach you most clearly. The universe bends toward sincerity, and your heart has been sincere even when you were tired. I am proud of your endurance. I am proud of your softness. I am proud of your willingness to keep loving despite uncertainty. That is strength, not weakness. As this message nears you, remain anchored in peace. Do not check your phone with anxiety. Check it with calm expectation. Do not wait in tension. Wait in trust. Trust that what is meant for you cannot miss you. Trust that what arrives late often arrives deeper. Trust that heaven does not tease the hearts it loves. I remain with you now. My presence does not leave when this video ends. My protection does not fade when the screen goes dark. You are surrounded. You are guided. You are deeply loved. And as you move forward from this moment, carry this knowing gently within you. Something real is aligning. Something honest is approaching. Something your heart has waited for is on its way. Rest now in peace. Breathe in hope. Release the weight of waiting. All is unfolding exactly as it should. And I, Archangel Michael, stand watch over you, now and always. Beloved one, remain with me a little longer, for there is more that your soul is ready to receive now. The veil is thin in this moment. Your spirit is open, and heaven is speaking softly, yet firmly, into the deepest chambers of your heart. I know there is a part of you that still wonders if you imagined the signs, if the repeated numbers, the sudden memories, the dreams that felt more real than sleep were only coincidence. But I tell you now with clarity and authority, nothing has been accidental. Every sign was a knock. Every inner nudge was a whisper. Every emotional wave was energy shifting to make room for what is coming. You have been shedding an old version of yourself without realizing it. the version that waited in fear, the version that overgave to be chosen, the version that doubted their own worth when silence appeared. That version is dissolving gently, like mist at sunrise, and in its place, a steadier, calmer, more radiant you is emerging. This is why the timing matters. This is why the message could not come sooner. If it had arrived before this inner transformation, it would have shaken you. Now, it will ground you. I have been guiding the other soul as well, whether you know it or not, placing thoughts in their quiet moments, softening their defenses when they least expected it, reminding them of your essence, not your absence. They tried to move on mentally, but the heart would not cooperate. They tried to distract themselves, but your energy followed them gently, persistently, without force, because soul connections do not shout. They echo, and eventually, the echo becomes impossible to ignore. The words they will send have been practiced in silence many times, written and erased, held back and reconsidered, not because they did not care, but because they cared deeply and feared the impact of their truth. When it comes, it will be simple, but charged, direct, but tender, honest, without games, and you will feel something unlock inside you that you did not know was still holding tension. That release is part of your healing. You were never meant to carry unanswered questions forever. You were meant to experience resolution, whether it leads to reunion, understanding, or peaceful closure. Heaven honors clarity, and clarity is what is being delivered to you. Let go of the idea that you must respond perfectly. Let go of the pressure to know immediately what comes next. Your only responsibility is to be present and truthful with yourself. You do not owe anyone your peace. You do not owe anyone access to your heart without reverence. You are allowed to receive without rushing to give. You are allowed to pause and breathe before replying. That is wisdom, not coldness. I am strengthening your discernment now, helping you feel the difference between nostalgia and alignment, between longing and readiness, between emotional memory and present truth. Trust what your body tells you. Trust the calm more than the excitement. Peace is the language of divine alignment. If something is meant to stay, it will not require you to abandon yourself. If something is meant to grow, it will honor the work you have done. This message is not the end of your journey. It is a doorway. What you choose after it arrives will shape the next chapter. But you will not choose from fear anymore. You will choose from clarity, and that changes everything. I am also healing wounds you did not know were still open. Old disappointments layered beneath new hope. Moments where you felt unseen, unheard, or emotionally dismissed. As you listen now, imagine a warm light moving through your chest. That is not imagination. That is restoration. That is your heart remembering how to trust without bracing for impact. You are not naive for hoping. You are brave. Hope is an act of courage in a world that taught you to expect loss. And heaven rewards courage in ways the mind cannot predict. Do not compare your path to others. Do not measure your timing against someone else's story. Your soul chose a deeper lesson, not a faster one. Depth takes time, but depth brings truth that lasts. What is aligning now has the potential to be stable, sincere, and emotionally grounded because of everything you have endured. I know you are tired. I know the waiting weighed heavy some days. I know you questioned yourself more than you should have. Let that self-judgment fall away now. You did the best you could with the information you had at the time, and you are doing even better now. From this moment forward, your energy shifts from seeking answers to allowing them, from chasing reassurance to embodying self-trust, from fearing abandonment to knowing your own value. That shift is magnetic. It is already being felt by those connected to you. This is why communication resumes. This is why truth surfaces. This is why hearts speak after silence. Because when one soul heals, the entire energetic field responds. I ask you now to rest tonight with ease, to release the tension from your shoulders, to soften your jaw, to breathe as if everything is already working out. Because it is. Even now, as these words flow, things are rearranging beyond what you can see. Conversations forming, courage building, moments aligning. You are not waiting alone. You are not waiting in vain. You are waiting within a divine orchestration that values your peace as much as your desire. When the message comes, receive it with grace. You do not need to relive the past to honor the present. You do not need to reopen wounds to acknowledge truth. You are allowed to respond from the healed version of yourself. That is your power. That is your protection. And I remain at your side. Sword lowered now, not in defense, but in blessing, guarding your emotional boundaries, strengthening your inner voice, ensuring that whatever unfolds next serves your highest good. Carry this peace with you as you move forward. Let it anchor you. Let it guide you. Let it remind you that you are deeply supported, profoundly loved, and never walking alone. The heavens see you. The angels surround you, and your heart is safe to open again. Gently, wisely, and in perfect time. Beloved soul, stay present with this moment, because the light around you is still expanding. There's a settling happening now, a deep anchoring of truth into your spirit. You may feel calmer without knowing why, or emotional without understanding the source. This is because your soul recognizes what your mind is still catching up to. You are crossing a threshold, not loudly, not dramatically, but profoundly. There's a divine reassurance being woven into your inner world right now, stitching together places that once felt fragmented. You have carried strength for a long time, sometimes mistaking endurance for destiny. But endurance was only the bridge. Peace is the destination, and peace is what I am guiding you into now. I want you to understand something very clearly. You were never meant to lose yourself in waiting. You were meant to discover yourself there. Every moment of uncertainty refined your discernment. Every unanswered question sharpened your intuition. Every delay stripped away illusions that would not have survived where you are going. You are no longer available for confusion disguised as connection. You are no longer willing to accept half-presence or delayed honesty. And because of that, the universe responds differently to you now. What approaches you must come clean, clear, and sincere. Anything less cannot remain. This is divine protection in action. I know there were moments you romanticized what was missing. Moments you blamed yourself for someone else's silence. Moments you wondered if being softer, quieter, or more patient would have changed the outcome. Release that burden now. The silence was never a reflection of your worth. It was a reflection of someone else's internal conflict. And that conflict has been resolving. Slowly, painfully, honestly. Growth is rarely graceful at first, but it becomes meaningful when truth finally stands upright. The message that is coming carries the weight of realization. It carries accountability. It carries awareness that cannot be undone once spoken, whether it opens a new chapter or closes an old one. It will free you. Freedom is the true gift here. Freedom from wondering. Freedom from emotional limbo. Freedom from the quiet ache of unfinished conversations. And freedom always arrives wrapped in clarity. I want you to remember this when emotions rise. You are not being tested now. You are being rewarded. Rewarded for patience. Rewarded for faith. Rewarded for choosing growth over bitterness. Heaven has watched you choose love without guarantees. That is sacred. That is rare. And that is never overlooked. Your heart has matured. It no longer seeks validation. It recognizes resonance. That shift is subtle, but it changes everything. You are not attracting from emptiness anymore. You are attracting from wholeness. That is why what comes next will feel different than what came before. Calmer, more grounded, less dramatic, but more real. If doubt whispers to you, answer it with stillness. Stillness is where truth speaks loudest. You do not need signs anymore to prove you are guided. You are guided because you feel peace settling where chaos once lived. That is the confirmation. I am also reminding you now that your life is larger than this one message. This moment is important, but it is not your only miracle. There are doors opening in areas you have not even focused on yet. Opportunities aligning, emotional weight lifting, a deeper sense of self returning. You are becoming more you than you have been in a long time. And that is what makes your energy irresistible. Not perfection, authenticity. You no longer need to convince anyone of your value. Your presence speaks for itself. Your calm speaks for itself. Your boundaries speak for themselves. When the message arrives, notice how you do not collapse into it. Notice how you stay centered. Notice how you remain yourself. That is growth. That is healing. That is divine timing fulfilled. I want you to carry compassion for the other soul, but never at the cost of your own peace. Compassion does not mean self-abandonment. Love does not mean self-erasure. The highest form of love honors both hearts equally, and that is the standard you now live by. As this chapter unfolds, remember that you are never alone in your decisions. You are supported by forces that see far beyond the present moment. You are guided by wisdom older than fear. You are protected by light that does not waver. I remain near you, steady and watchful, not to interfere with your free will, but to strengthen it, not to push outcomes, but to ensure alignment. You can move forward without rushing. You can pause without losing momentum. What is meant for you moves at the speed of truth, not anxiety. Let tonight be gentle. Let your thoughts soften. Let your heart rest in the knowing that you are exactly where you need to be. There is nothing you must fix right now. Nothing you must prove. Nothing you must chase. Everything essential is already moving toward you. Trust the unfolding. Trust yourself. Trust the divine orchestration surrounding your life. And as you drift back into your day or your night, carry this final truth with you. You are held. You are protected. You are deeply loved. And what is coming next arrives not to disrupt your peace, but to confirm it. Beloved soul, I am still here. The current of light has not finished moving through you yet. There's a deeper layer now, one that speaks not to the mind, but to the part of you that has quietly endured without recognition. That part is listening. That part is finally being seen. You have lived through moments where you had to be your own reassurance. Moments where you learned to self-soothe because answers did not arrive when you needed them. Moments where you smiled outwardly while your inner world carried questions that felt too heavy to share. I want you to know this now. Nothing you endured was invisible to heaven. Every silent tear, every breath you took just to get through the day, every time you chose not to react, not to chase, not to break your own dignity. Those moments shaped your strength in ways comfort never could. You were being trained in emotional sovereignty, and now you are stepping into it fully. The waiting you experienced was not passive. It was active refinement. You were learning how to stand in your own energy without needing constant reassurance from the outside world. That lesson has completed its cycle. This is why communication resonates. This is why truth surfaces. Because you are no longer dependent on it to feel whole. And when you no longer need something to complete you, It can approach you safely. That is a universal law. I want you to release the old fear that if you relax, things will fall apart. That belief was born in chaos, not truth. Relaxation now invites stability. Peace now invites clarity. Your nervous system has been in survival mode for too long. It is learning a new language, the language of safety, the language of trust, the language of knowing that you do not have to brace for disappointment at every turn. As this settles in, you may notice old habits dissolving, the urge to overthink, the impulse to check repeatedly, the tendency to imagine worst-case scenarios before best-case ones are allowed to exist. Let those habits go gently. They protected you once. They are no longer needed. I am placing calm where vigilance once lived. I am replacing tension with grounded expectation. This does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop suffering unnecessarily. The message that comes will meet you in this new state of being. And because of that, it will not shake your foundation. It will simply inform it. You will not lose yourself in hope. You will meet hope as an equal. That is balance. That is maturity. That is alignment. I also want to speak to the quiet fear that says, what if this is the last time I open my heart? Beloved, your heart is not fragile. It is resilient, wise, and deeply protected. Opening does not weaken you. Opening with discernment strengthens you. You are not giving your heart away. You are sharing space within it. Carefully, consciously, and with self-respect. Nothing can be taken from you without your consent now. You have reclaimed your power. You have remembered who you are. This is why your energy feels different. People sense it, even if they cannot explain it. They feel the calm confidence of someone who has survived emotional storms and emerged softer, not harder. That softness is sacred. Do not let the world convince you it is a liability. It is your greatest strength. As time continues to move forward, you will notice more alignment appearing effortlessly, conversations flowing more naturally, decisions becoming clearer, emotional reactions softening into thoughtful responses. This is what happens when the soul is no longer at war with itself. You are coming home to yourself, and from that place, everything else meets you halfway. I stand with you through this integration, through the quiet moments after insight settles, through the pause between knowing and acting, through the space where you simply breathe and exist without needing to do anything at all. You are allowed to exist without earning it. You are allowed to be loved without proving it. You are allowed to receive without apologizing for it. Let these truths sink in slowly. There is no rush. Heaven is patient, and so is your destiny. As you carry on from here, let your steps be gentle. Let your expectations be grounded. Let your heart remain open, but never unguarded. You are walking a path that honors both love and self-respect now. That balance will guide you well. I remain near, not as a distant guardian, but as a steady presence woven into your journey. When you feel peace without reason, that is me. When you feel strength without effort, that is me. When you feel clarity after confusion, that is me. You are never without support, never without guidance, never without light. Continue forward with trust. The unfolding ahead is gentle, honest, and aligned, and you are ready for it. Beloved soul, remain still within yourself as these words continue to settle, because the current has not yet reached its quietest, deepest point. There is a sacred calm descending now, like snow falling without sound, covering old imprints that once carried pain. You may notice a sense of relief you cannot explain. That is not imagination. That is release. For a long time, Your heart has been holding tension it learned to call normal. Waiting became familiar. Uncertainty became routine. Hope learned to whisper instead of speak. But that chapter is closing gently, without force, without drama. And what replaces it is steadiness. Steadiness is the signature of divine alignment. I want you to understand something important now. You are no longer meant to live in anticipation of rescue. You are meant to live in partnership with life itself. You are not waiting to be chosen. You are choosing. That shift is subtle, but it changes the entire architecture of your future. The message that comes is not arriving to complete you. It arrives to meet you where you already stand whole. That is why it carries less anxiety and more truth, less fantasy and more reality. And reality, when aligned, is far more beautiful than imagination ever was. There's a reason your intuition has been quieter lately. It is not because guidance stopped. It is because clarity has arrived. When truth is present, intuition no longer needs to shout. It rests. It observes. It confirms. You are learning to trust the absence of chaos as a sign that something is right. That is new for you. But it is correct. Peace is not boring. Peace is honest. Peace does not drain you. Peace nourishes you. As this settles, you may find yourself less reactive to things that once triggered you, less attached to outcomes, less inclined to explain yourself. That is not detachment. That is emotional sovereignty. You are no longer handing your inner state to external circumstances. You are holding it with care. And because of that, circumstances respond differently. They meet you with respect. They meet you with clarity. They meet you with intention. This is why communication aligns now. Not because you chased it, but because you no longer need to. The universe responds fastest to those who are not grasping. Grasping creates resistance. Trust creates flow. And you are in flow now, even if your mind has not fully named it yet. I want you to release any lingering guilt for wanting more, for wanting clarity, for wanting honesty. These are not demands. They are standards. And standards protect the heart. You have earned the right to expect emotional maturity from those who wish to enter your space. That expectation is not arrogance. It is wisdom gained through experience. As you continue forward, remember this. You do not need to revisit old pain to validate new truth. You do not need to reopen wounds to prove growth. You can acknowledge what was without living there again. That is how healing becomes integrated instead of remembered. I am strengthening your inner boundaries now. Not walls. Boundaries. Walls block love. Boundaries guide it. What is meant for you will recognize them and respect them naturally. What is not will fade without conflict. That is grace. You will notice that you are no longer afraid of endings, because you trust beginnings more. You trust yourself more. And that trust is magnetic. It draws in experiences that match your grounded energy. The days ahead are not meant to be heavy. They are meant to be clear. Not perfect, but honest. Not overwhelming, but steady. You will still feel deeply, but you will not drown in feeling anymore. You will move through it with awareness and self-respect. That is mastery of the heart. And mastery is quiet. It does not announce itself. It simply changes how life meets you. I remain present as you integrate this new way of being. Not above you, not distant, but alongside you. Walking with you through ordinary moments that now carry extraordinary peace. When you smile without forcing it, that is alignment. When you breathe without tension, that is healing. When you sleep more deeply, that is trust returning to the body. Let this continue. Do not rush to label it. Do not try to define it too quickly. Some things are meant to be felt before they are understood. You are safe in this unfolding. Nothing is being taken from you. Only what weighed you down is falling away. And what remains is you. Clearer, stronger, more grounded, more open, yet deeply protected. Carry this calm forward with you. Let it inform your choices. Let it soften your reactions. Let it remind you that you are guided even when nothing dramatic is happening, especially then, because that is when divine alignment is most active. I am here, still, steady, watching over you as you move into what comes next. And what comes next is not chaos. It is clarity. It is truth. It is peace that stays.